Welcome back to Your Road to Home, your guide to the people, places, and the heart behind our Carbon Valley. I'm Kendra Badgekar with LPT Realty, here with
Maxine Carey at Vector Bank, and we are here at Live Your Life Integrated Health and Chiropractic. We have I know it is a mouthful, and we have Dr. Sam and Dr. Katherine here, and we are going to just chat about your new office opened in Firestone. How long ago?
November. So we've been open for, I think that gives us right around 6-7 months now. So
okay, and you have an Erie office.
And we have an Erie office as well. So that Erie office opened back in 2018.
Okay.
We've been growing and expanding ever since, which has been really fun in the Erie area. And we noticed, there was kind of a need for more holistic health basically in this area too.
Okay.
We know there's a little bit of chiropractic, a little bit of massage, a little bit of acupuncture, but that we offer all those different services in our office, and there just wasn't that much up here. So it was nice to be able to kind of move here. We had probably 10 to 15% of our Erie patients already live in this area.
Perfect.
So it was also nice to just get closer to them, make it easier. We've had a lot of patients, I think, kind of move over into this office here, just being like, great, now it's 5 minutes down the road instead of 20 minutes down the road. And so,
nice.
Yeah,
so is this office open 5 days a week?
It is open currently Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
We have plans in the future to be Friday and Saturday as well, because our Erie office is open on the Saturdays. We are open 6 days a week over there.
Okay.
But we're still kind of building and figuring out. We only have one office space in here, so it's just not quite as large as our Erie office yet.
So you and Dr. Katherine share when you're in the office?
Yeah, we've got, because Dr. Katherine, you're in here what days?
Monday
and Wednesday?
Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm only in here Tuesdays right now.
Okay.
We have one other chiropractor, Dr. Alyssa, that's in here Tuesday morning as well. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So female office, you have female chiropractors.
Yeah.
Okay. And can you touch a little bit on the integrative? What does integrative medicine mean? We see lots of integrative now.
And I think there's a lot of different meanings for that integrated health term for the most part. But to me, when I came up with it, it was more about finding an office that I could have different services, different techniques, different practitioners all working under the same roof. So that we weren't constantly, trying to figure out, what did that practitioner say? What did this practitioner say? How do I communicate with them that this is what I think the patient needs? And now when everyone's kind of under one roof, we're able to talk to each other more easily, refer more easily, figure out what's going on with patients. And I think that, again, integrated just helps better patient care because we're all on the same page with what we're doing with each patient for the most part. So,
got it.
Yeah.
So are you both chiropractors?
Yes.
Chiropractors?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. And so for me, for chiropractic, I got into chiropractic because when I was a teenager, I was having a lot of breathing issues, which doesn't always relate to people thinking chiropractic necessarily, but I was a golfer and dancer, both very twisty sports for the most part. And when I was 15, I just started having trouble breathing. And we started going the Western medicine route, and they wanted to put me on anti-anxiety medication. They were trying to do inhalers, trying to figure out what that breathing piece was. Luckily, my mom had already been going to a chiropractor, and finally she was like, let's just bring you in there and see what they have to say. I had some rib junctions that just weren't moving for the most part. And within 3 to 4 visits, I was breathing just fine again. Some other things cleared up. I had, sleeping problems at the time as a teenager. I had a lot of back pain during my period, and all that ended up clearing up nicely too, which was a nice side piece. But it was really for that breathing piece that I went in for. And that's when I fell in love with chiropractic, because I was like, what a better way to take care of the system than being on medications, being on steroids, being on this other stuff that they were trying to place me on at the time.
Wow. So, is that your specialty?
So actually, no, I have a whole other adventure that I ended up going down. Do you want to talk about your chiropractic piece at all? And then I'll jump into my functional medicine piece more.
I have a similar story. I was a soccer player growing up. I was 15. I could barely sit in school just because my back was spasming. And I was like, I'm 15. I'm feeling like this. How do people go through life? Feeling this terrible. So I had a soccer coach refer me to his chiropractor, and after a few visits I was feeling so much better and just kind of wanted to spread the knowledge and help as many people as possible with that. I see a lot of pediatric prenatal patients in the office. That's kind of my specialty. Kind of fell in love with that during school, just helping families, babies not.
So you should be holding Kindred right now.
Yes, I know all about the baby feeling not great. So when baby's not feeling great, the rest of the family feels that effect too. So any little things we can do to make them more comfortable can help the family in such a big way. So I really enjoy doing that.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and Dr. Catherine definitely for pediatric prenatal, but she also does whole family health very well. There's with tons of women, tons of kids as well too. So yeah,
Nice.
Very cool.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. And then so for me, I actually have not. I just started getting a little bit into adjusting again, but I haven't adjusted for almost 3-4 years now. I've gone pretty much fully into functional medicine. And for those who don't know, functional medicine is pretty much taking our symptoms and looking more at their root cause of it. Is to say, okay, what's really causing why we might be having these digestive issues? Heartburn, irritable bowel syndrome, why our hormones are imbalanced, why we're having anxiety, versus just saying, oh, you're having heartburn because you aren't taking enough antacids. That's not a great reason, right? There's probably another reason why that's happening with the system. When I was in grad school for chiropractic, which was a great place to be because most people don't realize how many hours chiropractors spend learning the physiology of the body and the different pathways of the body. We don't spend much time on medications, so that's the whole training that we don't have, but it gives us way more time to spend on what the body's actually doing at a physiological cellular level. So it was already kind of going that route, and then I ended up getting Lyme disease. So when I was 23, 24 in grad school, I started basically wasting away. I lost 30 pounds from what I am today. I was basically not being able to walk. I was sleeping 14 hours a day. I was in severe pain all the time. And we went to 32 different medical specialists to try and figure out what was wrong. I don't think there's a test I haven't had done on my system. And they just told me that most likely I had an autoimmune disease or a cancer that hadn't appeared yet, and we were just going to have to keep testing until they could figure out what medication to give me.
Goodness.
And it was finally a chiropractor that did functional medicine that got me on the right track with that Lyme disease piece. We got it diagnosed. We started getting treatment. Within 2 months, I started feeling this huge turnaround. It took another 5 years to really climb out of that hole, but I knew immediately we were on the right track with that. And I got very annoyed at the medical system. As a lot of people, on similar journeys do, to say, I'm not being listened to, I'm not being heard, you're not understanding what's really going on with my body, you're just trying to throw medications at me.
And that's a big one, Lyme disease. Like a lot of people, like it's just this perpetual thing that they don't ever know how to, and then
it affects the nervous system, so anything that affects that nervous system can affect everything.
So do you have it all with?
So it's
Do you ever get rid
something
of it?
that usually they say if you catch it within 6 months, you can get rid of it from your system. After it's been in there for 6 months, it's hard to get out of your system. I have been fortunate enough that I definitely had it for 2+ years by the time we were able to diagnose and treat it. It's been 8 years, I think, since I've really had any major Lyme flare-ups. And I'm hoping to keep it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's always the goal. And to do that, it's kind of along that whole functional medicine line, is we're always looking at all these different systems of the body. Gut, stress, what our detox pathways are doing, what our hormones are doing. We take all that into account, and if we can just keep the body healing itself as well as possible, usually the body feels better, it heals better. And I get adjusted once a week too, so I think that also helps. Yeah.
Nice.
What are some major red flags that people can think about that would need to come in and see you guys for?
Do you want to take that one first?
Yeah. Piece? Number one thing we usually get is back pain. Most people have something going on, like tight neck, tight low back. So much of the population right now is just doing a lot of sitting.
Yes.
Leaning over the computer takes a toll on the body. A couple other things with kiddos, those who are very active, sports injuries, those who are not sleeping well, have problems with digestion.
Constipation is a big one.
Constipation,
Okay, so that's not something I would think,
but yeah, that's a big one.
That's good. Yeah.
Infants, feeding difficulties, and then kind of prenatal population, kind of that low back, sciatic pain, headaches is a big one, and then also just preparing the body for birth.
Yeah, and at the office too, chiropractic wise, we do a lot of work with joints. So some people don't always think, jaw, my elbow, my knee.
Sure.
And they'll end up going to their medical doctor first, which no problem with that, but they just don't get their hands on bodies nearly as often. It's usually, we do see a lot of good results typically with working with those joints as well. Piece there. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you guys do any x-ray before you assess clients, or do you go by feel?
We don't have in-house x-rays. We go through a pretty thorough exam at the first appointment. If we feel like we do need to get imaging, whether it be x-rays, MRI, CT, we refer out for those and we do catch that before we adjust.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So your first appointment, should people expect 45 minutes to an hour? Like for a thorough
Yeah, they're usually right around 45 minutes, give or take.
We sit down, go through health history, kind of talk about areas of dysfunction within the body. We do our exam that kind of looks like range of motion, movements. We feel around. We do something called orthopedic tests, see if we can elicit that pain that you've been feeling. We sit down, talk a little bit about chiropractic, talk about what's going on with your body specifically. And then if we feel like we need an adjustment, some treatment that day, we get that in as well.
Love that.
Yeah. And then even the second visit is usually closer to 30 minutes. So we have a little bit longer second visit as well. And then they tend to be more closer to 15 visits, 15 minutes after that to reach those visits.
Right.
To have time to still be able to work with each patient. And then for the functional medicine side of things, my specialties lie more in the digestive tract and hormones. So those are the two areas that I work on a lot. And I kind of gravitated toward those areas because they affect so much of the body. Digestion, our gut, how healthy it is, how we absorb nutrients, how much inflammation gets into our system, how we keep certain infections out. That is just a big one, key cornerstone of any functional medicine practitioner, is making sure that the gut is as healthy as possible. With hormones, I know a lot of people immediately think thyroid and sex hormones, which we do a lot of work on those, estrogen, progesterone, androgens, and of course our T3, T4 thyroid hormones. But people tend to forget that hormones also control a lot of our stress response, the way our blood vessels dilate or don't dilate. So blood pressure responses, satiety, how full do we feel? What is our gut enzymes being put out? So we have all these different hormones throughout the system. And if they are not being sent out properly, if they're not being received properly, then the rest of our body isn't going to feel as well. And so red flags.
So what causes that disruption?
The disruption?
Stress? Stress?
I mean, stress is a huge one, right?
Yeah.
I always tell patients, I wish I could send you to a beach for 3 months. For right? Sure.
Yeah.
So many things would probably be better after that 3 months if we could just relax and not have any of that. So stress response is a big piece we work on. Parasympathetic, rest and digest, sympathetic, fight and flight. We do work on those pieces to make sure that we're more in that rest and digest piece. I think we're supposed to spend, 5% in our fight and flight, 95% in rest and digest. We have people that are
flip-flop.
We heal. I mean, it's crazy. We heal like 100 times more in that rest and digest area. Sure. So when we're thinking about getting waste moving out of the system, repairing tissues at a cellular level, all of that happens so much more when our parasympathetic system is turned on. And if we're all spending it over in this stressed out phase, we're just not repairing nearly as much.
For sure.
So
wow, I just learned so much in that 60-second synopsis you just gave there. That's amazing.
And it is constipation. That's a big one. Like,
I
had a kid that, and I'm like, we got to figure this out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I say, because Western medicine, you're constipated if you are having less than 3 bowel movements a week, which I think is crazy.
Right.
If you are not typically having a daily bowel movement, I say we are constipated. Yeah. It's starting to alter the digestive tract. It's starting to inflame it more. You're not absorbing nutrients as much. And your microbiome, those bacteria in the gut, aren't doing what they're supposed to do either. So it's something that we immediately work on if that's the case. And
so
it's amazing.
We might want to cut this.
I talk about poop all day long.
But what else? I'm not going to go to that. But for such a long time, everybody would say it's related to sleep apnea, and now it's like the gut. It's the gut. The gut. Is sleep apnea a concern, and like how you're sleeping and that kind of stuff?
Yes,
also,
absolutely.
with some of the other symptoms that may come up in your body.
Oxygen and iron are 2 of our key nutrients in our system. If our body does not have enough oxygen and iron, the rest of the system is not going to work. So it's probably 2 of the things that we look at immediately in functional medicine is, do you have iron levels, and is that iron actually getting to your cells? And same thing with the oxygen. Do we have oxygen? Are we capable of making new blood vessels to get to the brain and our different organs where they're supposed to go to get that thing?
Can chiropractic help sleep apnea?
Oh,
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we have on your first visit, your first chart. It's called a Merrick chart. So it kind of, you have your spine over here. We have all these different nerve nerves that run out from our spine, and they run to our organs, they run to our muscles, they run to our glands. If we have any type of restriction within our body, the joint's not moving very well, but that signal from the brain to the body is not as strong as it could be. So with chiropractic, we put motion back into that stuck joint. But I think number one thing it does is it stimulates that nervous system that increases that communication between the brain and the body. So we kind of go back to that nerve chart. Like, look at the lungs. Which nerves are running to that area? We go back and go, maybe we need to adjust in this area. So that can definitely contribute to what our treatment plan looks like.
I see. Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
What are some natural ways people can supplement their iron?
so with
That's a
iron,
concern.
one of the biggest things that we watch out for are iron pans, both ways, because we also don't want to over iron. Over ironing is just as bad as under ironing.
Okay.
I hate over iron. For sure.
But those iron pans, and that's a hard part with a lot of partners, because men tend to be over ironed, and women tend to be more under ironed. So we're always watchful if we start giving, the woman say, great, use iron pans multiple times a week. We're like, go get him fixed. Make sure we're not adding too much iron into him as well when we start using those iron pans. But iron pans work great. Red meat is another really good way to get iron, and that's probably our next best way to get more iron in. And of course, iron supplements. We have a really good one in the office. You just have to be careful with them. They cause digestive upset. So we're just always careful what formula.
And constipation.
Yeah, they do.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
So we're always careful of what formula we're giving patients when we are utilizing that iron.
Yeah.
Very good.
Um,
Doctor, go ahead.
So, go ahead.
I was going to ask Dr. Katherine, what would you say to somebody out there who's been deathly afraid to come try chiropractic? Because my own mom was one of those. Never tried it. She's like, I heard if you start, you can't ever stop. And I'm like, well,
That's true, but that's a good thing.
That's probably a good thing because I've been doing it myself since I was in high school. So again, I have not stopped, but other reasons for that. But it's a good thing.
Yeah. That's a very common idea that people have about chiropractic.
Yeah.
Some people are sometimes nervous about getting adjusted. They see these crazy TikTok videos.
I know, that's
all over the
ruined
place.
it. Yeah, for sure.
So totally valid. Our adjustments, we do whatever you are comfortable with and what we're going to get the most benefit out of. There are lots of different techniques that we can use that still get to the same outcome. Talking about you have to come in over and over and over. We don't say we totally fix you. We just support your body.
For sure.
So it's going to be a little bit of chiropractic. It's going to be a lot of stretching, strengthening. We might add acupuncture, massage. Just getting you active again makes such a big difference. So wherever chiropractic falls into that piece, we're going to support you in that way.
I love that. I think of it just as overall well-being. I mean, if you're not moving your body every day, you're not staying healthy. The same line goes along with this. If you're not keeping up with your joints to stay active, right? You're not going to be able to have a healthy lifestyle. So
because even no matter what throughout life, right? We're still being active. There's the possibility that something moves around, shifts in our body.
Oh, yeah.
We still have the stress piece, right? We're not all on our beaches for 3 months at a time.
Yep.
We're
all
not
over
eating
30.
as well,
We can
right?
sleep weird now and just be sore. Yeah.
So and I kind of always have those different ranges too with patients to just say, no, we're probably never going to get to never seeing you.
Right.
Your body's going to come back to this position, but we aren't going to be seeing you weekly all year either. We're going to be able to decently space that out over time.
Love that.
So are you two born and raised Coloradans?
No. So I'm trying to think Dr. Alyssa is Colorado in our office. So I'm from Chicago. I'm from the Chicago area. My family started coming out here to ski when I was in high school. And we had this plan that we're like, all right, we love Colorado. We love the mountains. We're mountain people. We were born in Illinois. No mountains, so we had to move.
And the winters are better.
Yes.
Winters are way better here. My sister and I, she was going to finish undergrad at the same time I was going to finish grad school. So we were going to all move out here at the same time. My aunt and uncle moved out first. They moved out a year before I finished grad school. I moved out, and then my sister fell in love. So she is still in Chicago with two lovely kids.
Good for her.
They have not made their way out here yet. So we'll see if they ever end up out there. But we get to go to Chicago a lot. And then my parents ended up moving out here a year or two later.
Awesome.
So,
Very cool.
I'm from Missouri. So I grew up, went to college, went to chiropractic school in Missouri, graduated, and said, oh, the world's pretty big. Let's go try something new. And so I've been out here for about 2.5 years and loving the weather. I'm a big hiker, so that's kind of the number one thing that brought me out here.
Love that. Enjoy.
What made you decide on the Carbon Valley area?
Yeah, I can start with that.
Yeah.
So, because I opened up my first office in Erie.
Yeah.
And when that was starting, I loved it. We kind of I know it's getting bigger, but I don't mind that.
Yeah.
It kind of still has that small town feel.
Yeah.
We're able to walk to the community center, the rec center, the library, the stores downtown. So I love being able to do that. I grew up with hot air balloons in my backyard in Illinois.
Cool.
So the same area has all the same hot air balloon things, which just really spoke to me as well. So I love that piece of it. And once I kind of found the Erie, I settled down there, and this was great. And then kind of looking more into Carbon Valley, which isn't that much further from Erie.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot of the same similar feelings for the most part. I know it's not quite as big as Erie. I know it's growing. It's kind of in that growth stage there. But I still feel, it does have that nicer, smaller town. People are connected. We're talking to each other. People are getting outside and moving and, doing stuff. So I just always like that feeling. And you guys have hot air balloons too. So.
Right? Love that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Very similar. I was living in downtown St. Louis for the past 4 years, and I needed space. So I actually live in Longmont, but work in Erie. I feel like it's good size. I can still put down roots and actually build my community.
Yep.
So it's been awesome so far.
Love that. Do you guys feel like you've been welcomed here pretty well?
Yeah. No, love everybody. Obviously, we've been a part of some women's groups. We've been a part of the chamber a little bit, and everybody's just been so
That's awesome.
nice. The vibes feel great.
Good.
So so that's been good as well. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love that.
And you give your parents free. I have a kid who was going to go into chiropractic, and then he, took a different path.
Yeah.
So I'm like looking at you thinking, oh, it would have been so awesome if my kid was a chiropractor.
You joke with ours. We need one of you to be a chiropractor. We need one.
My parents definitely benefit. So
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because our office, I kind of said that earlier, but we have functional medicine, we have the chiropractic, we have massage, we have acupuncture, dry needling, and craniosacral therapy all under one roof. And my parents utilize all of it. So,
Good for them.
So
Good for them.
they are good at that.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Who does the dry needling?
Dr. Alyssa does the dry needling.
Okay.
So Dr. Alyssa just got, I shouldn't say just, she's been almost certified for 2 years now in dry needling, and that's been a huge bonus to the office. Dry needling, we just see great effects, fixed effects with the dry needling piece. And then Dr. Katherine just got certified in acupuncture. So that's going to be the start of that journey there, and I'm very excited for that as well. We have our one acupuncturist, but she's busy all the time. So it's nice to be able to add someone else in that's doing that same service too.
Yeah. So if somebody, needs to see you, they can schedule at the Erie office. And they're a main patient here. Like, can they come to both
They can
locations?
come to both. Yeah, we have patients that switch between both pretty easily. Okay. So no, you are not stuck at one office. You're not stuck with one practitioner necessarily. We have patients that just depending on what they need that day, what time works best for them, whatever that is, they can schedule with who they need to see. Which again is a nice thing about being able to just be all under one roof and share the notes and be able to converse about patients together. It makes that fairly easy.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah,
love that.
Yeah,
love that.
That's amazing.
Should we do some rapid fire?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to know you both a little bit deeper here.
All right.
Are you podcast or book reader? I'm going to silence
Book reader.
this really quick so that we don't have to
Podcast.
All right. What's one of your favorite books you read recently?
One of my favorite books that I have read recently. It was probably, what is that called? Hail Mary? I think it's called that. What is his name? He writes the science fiction. He did The Martian. Sci-fi writer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Andy Weir.
Okay. Very
So
cool.
that was great.
What's your favorite podcast?
Favorite podcast? Oh gosh, I listen to so many different genres. Dateline is probably one of my number one.
Nice.
And then I do like a podcast called Maintenance Phase, where they kind of debunk health myths.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
What's that one called?
Maintenance Phase.
Maintenance phase.
Very cool. I'm going to have to take a listen to that. That sounds like, yeah, that sounds interesting.
What's your favorite hike in Colorado?
Probably Kruger Rock, which is like right outside of Estes Park. You start pretty high. It's about 1,000 feet elevation, but it's like the best views.
That's awesome. We did that one last year for the first time. Spectacular view of Estes.
Yes,
very cool.
How about you?
I like the I don't always remember the name, but in the national park there's like Emerald Lake and Dream Lake.
Oh yeah.
What do you know what that hike is called? Yeah, that's a great one.
That is a good one.
Those different lakes, you make it all the way to the top.
Yeah.
You're in snow by the end, but
Very cool.
but it's a good hike. So
Have you both done Manitou Springs?
yes.
I haven't.
Yeah.
The incline?
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's on my list.
It is on
my
your list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome. You can do it.
That
You
was
can
tough.
check that off. That one is tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it with the kids, didn't you?
We did it.
Nice.
Yeah, we did it for
Nice.
New Year's one.
Yeah.
This
I think it was harder coming down than going up.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was so snowy when we went.
Yeah,
And
okay,
there was like
uh-huh.
that backside hill.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
backside
right.
trail you can take
Yeah.
down. We didn't
It was like,
realize that, so we came back down the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold
I
it.
don't
You
know
were
if this
pregnant
thing
when
was
you did it.
before.
Were you pregnant when you did it?
No, I wasn't pregnant. But Braxton really was.
Okay.
What's one of your favorite restaurants in the Carbon Valley area? Erie can count too if you want to
Yeah.
Restaurants
name something in Erie.
here. There's so many good restaurants, and I need to do more restaurants here. I just went to Miko's for the first time.
Nice.
I really enjoyed that. I know they're not quite, I think they've got some food.
Yeah,
there
they've
now,
got
too,
some
right?
pastries there.
So
Yeah,
just went to Miko's for the first time, and that was wonderful. Probably in Erie, we go to Wapo's a lot. We go to Creepy a lot. So those are probably two of our big ones.
I love Creepy.
Creepy not a lot, but we go there a few times a year.
Yeah.
So.
And you can say Longmont.
Yes.
Longmont? Okay. Flavor of India is one of my
Mhm.
favorites. Teokali.
Oh
It's
yeah.
really good right now. And then Miko's my go-to coffee shop. And Frederick, too.
Love
Driving
that.
back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, so they have
awesome.
a Longmont location too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What do you do in your free time?
I always wish I had healthier answers in my free time to do, but we are big video game and board game players. So we
Oh,
do
great.
a lot of video
Yeah.
gaming and board gaming. In the winter, we ski. So in the winter, we're skiing most of the time, but in the summer, we tend to do more of that. So
Nice.
Yeah. Kinda hibernate during the winter. I do a lot of jigsaw puzzles. I just recently got back into playing soccer, so that's what I spend my
Nice.
Sundays doing now in Boulder. And again, I'm a big hiker.
That's cool. Have you been to the indoor facility in Longmont at all? They have an
Yeah, I play there too.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah,
I just seen on LinkedIn Denver's going to have a women's soccer team.
professional soccer
Oh,
team.
Professional?
sweet.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I didn't know that. Very cool.
Yeah. I think they just announced it. I just seen it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I
That's awesome.
think next 2 years they should be up and playing.
Very cool.
So yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah, that is. All right. Well, anything you want to tell the community that we didn't touch on today?
I think we hit most of that. This
Other
was
than you're
great,
taking
so-
appointments?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that
That's
is
true.
Yes.
We are.
We got
We are
appointments.
taking appointments. Yep. And like I said, this office here in Firestone, we're Monday through Thursday at the moment. What's your latest hours?
I'm here till 6:30 on Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah, because I'm here till 7 on Tuesdays. So we do have some late hours to try to get people
Awesome.
in as well. And then the Erie office, just if people needed to move over, we are there 6 days a week and have those Saturday appointments too, to make it easier for people to get in. And so, yeah.
Very good.
And
That's
then we have a wonderful admin team. Everyone talks about how amazing and kind and caring they are, and I love hearing that compliment.
That's great.
So
Yes.
feel free to call, email, text. We're happy to get people in however we need to. So
Awesome.
that's amazing. Well, we will leave your contact below.
Yes.
Correct?
we will. Yep. Yep.
Perfect. Well, I think that's a wrap. It
Mhm.
was great getting to know both of you. Thank you for opening this office in the Carbon
Yes.
Valley and
we're
letting
so
us
excited. So
utilize your services here locally. So anyway, hope you all are having a great day. Hope you love living your life. And if you need a chiropractic, come on and see Dr. Sam and Dr. Katherine. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.